Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me tonight for a little bit. I don't usually go live, it's a little unorthodox for me, but I just wanted to kind of get some of my thoughts and opinions out there really quickly about the value of the number one overall pick in this upcoming draft. And in fact, in all drafts. Now, we don't have that pick secured yet. However, there's a very good chance that the Bears will wind up with the number one overall pick. So I just wanted to kind of share my thought process on how I feel about it and what I think the Bears should do. And that's definitely trade back. And I'll tell you why. First of all, as far as history shows us, let's go back 25 years. There's been three occasions where a team has had the number one overall pick in back to back years. And those situations were in 1999 and in 2000. Cleveland had them. And they took Tim Couch and they took Courtney Brown. In 2017 and 2018, Cleveland had him again. They took Miles Garrett and then they took Baker Mayfield. And recently in 2021 and 2022, the Jacksonville Jaguars had him, and they've taken Trevor Lawrence and Trayvon Walker. So, all three of those situations, one year the team takes offense, one year the team takes defense. And it's not proven to work by any means. It definitely didn't work for Cleveland. I know Jacksonville's kind of on the upswing. However, there's still no concrete success there. So it's all hearsay. There's no real actual plan for success when having a situation like that. So to trade the pick back twice, although it does seem a little bit unorthodox, it really isn't because those situations don't come across often. And when they do, there's not been any team that's necessarily handled it successfully. So um, it's interesting when you just look at the number one overall pick in general since 2005. There's actually only been two players that were taken number one overall that have come away with a Super Bowl, and that's been Matt Stafford and Eric Fisher. And when Eric Fisher got his Super Bowl with the Chiefs, it was already towards the end of his career. I'm not even sure if he was necessarily starting at his position by that point, but regardless, there's only been two of them that have actually gone all the way. And you know, the the expectation for production from that pick was actually truly broken by Peyton Manning because whenever we take any quarterback with the number one overall pick, the hope is or the expectation is that they're going to be Peyton Manning, and that's just hasn't been the case. In fact, if we take a look at quarterbacks taken with the number one overall pick, 1998 Peyton Manning, 99 Tim Couch, 2001 Mike Vick, 2002 David Carr, 2003 Carson Palmer, 2004 Eli Manning, which probably was the most successful first overall pick since Peyton Manning at this point. And then we have in '05 we have Alex Smith, 2007 we have Jamarcus Russell, 2009 Matt Stafford, 2010 Sam Bradford, 2011 Cam Newton, 2012 Andrew Luck, 2015 Jameis Winston, 2016 we had Jared Goff, 2018 Baker Mayfield, 2019 Kyler Murray, 2020 Joe Burrow, 2021 Trevor Lawrence, and in 2023 Bryce Young. So although some of those players are good players, like I said, when it comes to the end result here, you only have three names on the list that have come away with Super Bowls, and those have been Matt Stafford, Eli Manning, Peyton Manning. Um, that success rate is not very high for drafting a quarterback with that number one overall pick. But when you really truly think about it, right? If you take the number away and replace it with a player, what player in the league currently is worth the haul you'll get for trading that number one pick back? What player is worth three first round picks? Um, Immediately Patrick Mahomes comes to mind. But I think after that, I think it's really a discussion and up for debate. There's no way you can really even name five players in the league that are probably worth three first round picks. We look at some recent trades. Devontae Adams being the best wide receiver in the league at the time, traded for two first round picks. Tyreek Hill, I believe he was traded for five picks overall, first, a second, and some other ones, or maybe he was also two first round picks. But Christian McCaffrey, there was a haul for him, and he's been very productive in his position of running back. But yeah, they didn't. I believe that started with a second. So you look at some of these trades, like we recently picked up Montez Sweat for a second. 3 first round picks is a lot. So for you to take any player with that kind of draft capital, you're really banking on them panning out to such a high level of success that it's almost unrealistic when you look throughout the history of the NFL. I can think of a year where Jadeveon Clowney was touted as the next generational player. Like we always hear every single year, there's another generational player. And, he wound up bouncing around to what, 4 or 5 different teams. Meanwhile, pick 13 in that same draft, there goes Aaron Donald. Imagine if you had that pick 1 and you traded back to pick 13 and got Aaron Donald plus additional first round picks. I mean, it's silly when you think about it. Drafts are not a science. These guys, they do study, and they put a lot of chips into the measurables and things like that. However, you never really know. Even Peyton Manning almost went number 2. The guy that did go number 2 behind Peyton Manning was a complete bust. So I always use the phrase, just give me more darts to throw at the dartboard. I think as long as you're still hitting on players in late rounds, like Ryan Poles has shown he can, yeah, give me more of those. Everybody complains that we needed a center on this team. However, we took another defensive back this year instead of taking a center, and maybe we should have taken a center. I believe the guy we wanted actually wound up getting hurt, but you know, when those scenarios pop up, you can have both as long as you sit there and you play the draft the right way and trade your picks back and accumulate more picks. And then when you go off and make trades like sending a second round pick for Montez Sweat, you can afford to do that because you've built up that draft capital. When you send a second round pick for Chase Claypool and it doesn't work out, it doesn't hurt you as bad if in the same time you're gaining draft capital through other trades, or especially just trading your pick back. I mean, like I said, no one player in this league, in my opinion, maybe outside of Patrick Mahomes, and even that, there'd be question on what he would look like on a worse team with worse talent and worse coaching. I mean, he's in a great situation over there in Kansas City. So, really, is anyone truly worth 3 first round picks? I don't know. I think it's something to think about. So, just wanted to join you guys real quick live and kind of share my thoughts and get it out there. And hopefully you guys agree. If you don't, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know. I appreciate all of you guys, and thank you for watching. Have a good night.